Hello everyone, welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Chris Pajak and today we're going to be talking about rotational triangles and Liverpool's evolution of their box midfield. So we've spoken in the past, I've got the board in front of me about Liverpool's box midfield. I'm going to get right into it, no messing around whatsoever. We'll start with the board then. So you can see Liverpool are lined up in a 4-3-3 formation. This is really basic stuff at this point. We've talked about this and discussed this at length since last season when we introduced the box midfield in a game against Arsenal. So what was happening is Trent Alexander-Arnold was moving into the middle of the park. The defensive midfielder would move slightly over to the left. The 2-8 would advance, creating a 3-2-2-3. And one of the basic principles of this two-box midfield 3 was 3 at the back adding stability, 4 men in the midfield, creating a bit of an overload in the midfield, going up against 3-man midfields and 3 wide forwards. 5 players responsible for attacking, 5 players responsible ultimately for defending, and this would change occasionally. Maybe Trent would go a little bit further up, etc. These lads would get very, very close. These lads would push up here, and then Liverpool would play the high line like that. So keeping that box midfield element, keeping the stability of 3 players at the back. And one of the things that we spoke about was a potential centre-half to play this left-back position here, which is currently Andy Robertson's. And, you know, less of Andy Robertson going down the field and more of a centre-back style defender who could slot in at the 4 of the back when Liverpool gain their shape again. In a defensive sense, and play out at left-back position when they didn't. Now, what's happened over the course of the last near enough, probably 10, 11 months now, is Liverpool have started to evolve this midfield and taken elements from what they used to do in the 4-3-3 when you think of Fabinho, when you think of Jordan Henderson, when you think of Wijnaldum, and specifically Jordan Henderson, Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold, or Andy Robertson, Gini Wijnaldum and Sadio Mane. And that element that we've managed to bring back into the box midfield is rotational triangles, and you can see these 3 players here. These guys would essentially rotate and continue to rotate, keeping a triangle between all of them at all times, and equally they do it on this side of the pitch here, keeping those triangular elements. And what that would mean is that sometimes Trent could end up in this position in the middle of the park, sometimes this could be Salah, sometimes this could be the 8 in Szoboszlai, something like that, or equally, you know, they could move it around and this fella could be Salah, this could be Trent, this could be Szoboszlai, for example. And there's this element of rotational triangles on each side that I want to discuss today. And one of the ways that Liverpool are actually getting into this formation is they're starting with the 4-3-3 like they always have. And you've got your defensive midfielder. At the moment, that's Alexis McAllister. We've had Conor Bradley in recent weeks playing right back, Konate, Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. And one of the slight variations to what Liverpool are doing, instead of Trent going in and a back 3 forming, what is now happening is Joe Gomez is going in alongside Alexis McAllister. And we're seeing a bit more like this. So we've got the 2 centre-halves, Virgil van Dijk, Ibou Konate. Then we're going to have Joe Gomez alongside Alexis McAllister or McConnell at the weekend. And then Conor Bradley here. And then the 2-8s are advancing. These might shuffle over a little touch. And so we're having a 2, a 3, still with elements of the box midfield. And then we've got these rotating triangles, which again, Joe Gomez is able to complete on this side. And it's this shift from having 3 defenders to having 2 defenders, which I believe has given Liverpool a little bit more stability in game and a little bit more fluidity moving forward, enabling us to keep the ball a little bit more. So instead of 3-2-2-3, what we're now seeing is a 2-3-2-3. 5 players for defensive work, 5 players most of the time for attacking work, with the ability of Conor Bradley in recent weeks coming down here, and Joe Gomez, and maybe one of them would sit off if Joe Gomez is up. It's one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of Joe Gomez in this area of the field taking shots on and the crowd shouting shoot a lot, is because of his positioning and how he's played it differently to Andy Robertson at left back. So I just wanted to introduce those 2 sort of key things that I think Liverpool, one is a reintroduction of the triangles and one is a change in how we get into the box midfield, which I think is really sort of interesting stuff. Now, I'm just going to play it back to maybe get a rotational triangle here and here. So we've got our triangle here, we've got our triangle here. And what we're able to do, if I just put up, maybe just put a little bit of a back four into this scenario, maybe a couple of midfielders as well. So you will have seen Conor Bradley run round the outside loads of times against Norwich. And what happens in that scenario is the 8, Gravenberch at this point, and the right winger, Jota, will continue these triangles around. Now, if that wasn't the case, you know, it might be that Szoboszlai or Gravenberch makes a penetrative run in between the back line, dragging a defender with him, and then the ball carrier here is going to have an easy pass on to the right midfielder, right fullback, sorry, and that's one way of us getting in. Another might be a quick 1-2 and around the outside, and then the right back takes a position whereby if they cut back, it's blocked off or whatever, you can get the ball out here. And then it's down to the defensive midfielder, if everybody's blocked off, to go back, open it up, stretch these lads back out, and then try and build up again through the phases. So that's one way the rotational triangles has worked for us. Now what I'm going to do is I've showed you a little bit of how Liverpool are going to do it, be that Conor Bradley going around the outside, be that Jota going inside, or Szoboszlai going further past to create space for people. What I'm going to do now is try and prove it, really. So I'm going to move the board out of the way. I'm going to try and get some still images up from the games. So we're going to try and do that now. And I'm going to show you the build-up phase, the 2-3-5. So you can see on my iPad, this is the game against Norwich at the weekend. You've got, let's have a look at this, see if we can get this bad boy in. You've got Jarell Quansah here, Konate here, and then your 3-man midfield, Conor Bradley, McConnell, Joe Gomez. And then, just for the sake of it, the triangle is here as well, between Bradley, between Gravenberch and between Diogo Jota. And these players will move around and continually rotate such that Liverpool have passes and it's very difficult for teams to basically mark them up. So if I move this on, McConnell's going to play the ball back to Quansah, who quickly moves it on to Joe Gomez. And again, 2-man, 3-man, and then you're going to have your 5 attacking players further up the field here. So we move it on again. Joe Gomez moves forwards. Now out here is Cody Gakpo. You've got Kurt Jones here, and you've got Joe Gomez occupying some space. So here's your triangle here. On the right hand side, these are your 3 guys. Gravenberch over here. Yeah, and here, and he's making a run inside of Darwin Núñez at the moment. We're playing down the left-hand side currently, so we move it on again. And then we'll go to the next phase of that. So again, different proposition. Kurt Jones has come back to win the ball. He's played it back to the goalkeeper, who's now played it to Jarell Quansah. Quansah's moving forwards. Kurt Jones' job is to get out of the build-up phase. But you can see Bradley, McConnell, Joe Gomez as a 3, Konate, Quansah as a 2, quite easily, you can see that there. We move it on again. Joe Gomez has got the ball. These 3 are a 3, these are a 2, and then we've got 5 lads here whose job it is to find space and to attack. And you can see what Jota's done really cleverly is he's come quite inside. Norwich have gone compact, and what that's doing is, you can see at the top of your screen, Conor Bradley with his hands up in the air wants the ball from Joe Gomez. We play it on. Jota's stayed in position, the ball's out over the top, and a chance is going to be created. The defender does really well, covers about 20 yards to get out and blocks the cross, but that's one of the 2-3-5 build-ups that we've been able to do. I'm going to move on and show you some of the rotational triangles, and again, this one's from the game against Norwich at the weekend. This phase of play was absolutely superb. In fact, we went forwards, we rotated the triangle a few times and then went back, and this is the second phase of that play. So Quansah's got the ball, Konate's there, there's your 2-man, there's your 3-man midfield, Joe Gomez, McConnell, Bradley. I'm going to play it out to Konate. Bradley's moved up. Now Gravenberch is positioned inside, Jota's the furthest right and forwards, and Bradley has the ball again. This is the triangle here. These guys all have the ability to rotate within those positions, and you can see again, these are the 5 lads that are our attacking players, with the fullbacks helping to support at times. So Bradley's got the ball right now, Jota's there, Gravenberch is there. Plays the ball back inside to McConnell, Again, triangle's still there, unable to play the pass into them. Pass comes back to McConnell. He turns, plays it outside. Look what's happened. I'll go back. Gravenberch and Jota are in this position and this position. They're going to switch. Again, just that rotational triangle element. Plays the ball back inside. Jota's moved inside. Gravenberch has moved outside. Plays the ball back. Still a triangle. Players in completely different positions. Okay. At this point, we try and get it down to Gravenberch here, and Jota's going to make the run over here. So we've got a triangle, which we're quite happy with. As he plays the ball to Gravenberch, you see Jota's already on, which is something that I showed you on the board slightly earlier. The ideal scenario here is he flicks the ball on for Jota, Núñez is driving in, Kurt Jones is driving in, and Gakpo's driving in. Unfortunately, the defender does really well again, cuts off the passing lane, so he can't get it through to Jota, so he has to play it back to Bradley. But again, that's how those rotational triangles work. Again, we'll do it again. McConnell into Bradley, back over inside to Joe Gomez, Kwanzaa, and then there we go again. Now we're going to do it with a chance created. So we've got Kwanzaa on the ball, plays it out to Konate, drives forwards a bit, plays the pass to the right-hand side. You've got Jota really inside this time. You've got Gravenberch over there. You've got McConnell, and Bradley's just off your screen down here somewhere. Plays the ball to Bradley, and this time the triangle is in a different position. Again, you've got Jota inside, but look what's happened here. You've got the 4-man defence, you've got a 5-man midfield, and you've got one lad completely separate of it, and that's Diogo Jota. Conor Bradley sees he is on, plays the ball inside to one of his mates. You can see Gakpo is already asking for it. You can see Núñez is already asking for it. You can see that Gravenberch has made the run, which means he can't step up into him, so he's not under pressure. As we play the ball on, Jota plays a lovely little ball into Cody Gakpo there. And then the chance is created, and it's good defending by Norwich in this instance to block the shot. Again, comes from those 3 players on the right-hand side, rotating their positions. And then I'll see if I can show you a goal that Liverpool scored fairly recently, which you may very well remember, using this idea of rotational triangles. And it is a goal against Manchester City, but it comes, interestingly enough, originally from the left-hand side instead. So what we've got over here is we've got Luis Diaz, we've got Darwin Núñez, we've got Mo Salah. Oh, Mo Salah. And then we're moving on. Diaz drives to the penalty area. You've got Cody Gakpo here, who is integral to this goal, if you remember correctly. You've got Mo Salah. Now, I think at this point, Diaz, to be honest with you, is looking at Cody Gakpo, looking to try and feed the ball, in fact, to Cody Gakpo. But what happens? The ball is played over the top to Mo Salah. Now, this isn't so much a triangle, but these are the 3 players in this particular game that were involved in being that triangle on the right-hand side. So, one of the ways you create space is you make runs like that. That run, completely unselfish, is going to take Bernardo Silva, it's going to take Ake as well, who's worried about Mo Salah, and it's going to create space where he's vacated the space, which is a crucial point. So we move it on. You can see Cody's making the run. Bernardo Silva has to track the run. Ake has to go into Mo Salah, and because of that, the space is exactly where we said it was going to be. Right inside to Trent. The ball's played. They're too slow to get across. The finish is fantastic. The ball ends up in the back of the net. And that is how Liverpool are using rotational triangles when we are talking about tactics and build-up phase. And one of the reasons for that is this shift, not only to a box midfield, but also in recent weeks a 2-3-5 formation in the build-up phase. And one of the things that I find really interesting about all of this, if I'm being frank with you all, is I can almost feel people now going, but what happens when it isn't Conor Bradley and when it is Trent Alexander-Arnold and it's Robbo and it's not Gomez? And here is where I believe Liverpool will utilise this in exactly the same way that they're doing now. Because I believe that Conor Bradley is almost exactly the same type of fullback as Andy Robertson. So instead of Bradley going down the right-hand side and the left-back tucking in to create that 3 sort of man midfield, I believe it's going to be Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold moving in. So Trent goes there, Robertson goes up the left-hand side. You still see the rotational triangles. It might be Diaz. It's likely to be Kurt Jones, who is exceptional at this, and Andy Robertson. We saw it late stages of the Norwich game where Robbo gets into those positions. Kurt Jones loves to get into those positions, and Diaz loves to get inside. Equally, Diaz likes to drop in. Robbo likes to go outside, and Kurt Jones gets himself up into the business end of the pitch, as evidenced by his goal at the weekend. So instead of Bradley being out on the right, I think the focus from the full-back going forward is going to be Andy Robertson. I think Szoboszlai and Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah, when he comes back, are going to be the triangle on the right-hand side in most of those games, but the left-hand side is going to be a little bit more penetrative, and the right-hand side, he can deliver the ball from anywhere on the field. Trent Alexander-Arnold, can't he? So I think Liverpool are going to continue with this. I think they really like it. They love the idea of the rotational triangles. We've seen it. We've spoken about it for years. We never called it that. It was Jordan Henderson. It was Mo Salah. It was Trent Alexander-Arnold. It was those runs ahead of Mo Salah. It was those runs around the outside of Mo Salah. And what this can do, that run ahead of Mo Salah creates space for him to come in and fire off a shot. That run around the outside and him maybe moving forward, occupying, creates space, little dink over the top. Equally, him there, run there, Trent, space, bang, or shot, goal. This is what Liverpool have been doing for years, but now we're doing it with the box midfield as well. And I think what this has all done as well is coincided massively with Liverpool's press coming back. The last 5 to 6 weeks, these 5 guys really high up the pitch, these guys pressing a little bit higher, a little bit harder to play through now, aren't we? You can see that defensive stability, maybe a little bit too passive with the 3 and the 2, but the 3 and the 2 the other way around, the 3 in front, the 2 behind, more players to play through, harder to get your transitions on Liverpool Football Club, more guys high up the pitch, creating opportunities to win the ball back, get a shot off, all that type of stuff. Liverpool are masters of press. Liverpool are masters of rotational triangles. Liverpool are now becoming masters of the box midfield. And under Jurgen Klopp and Pep Lijnders for the rest of this season, this is how I think Liverpool will be playing and looking to get the better of each and every one of their opponents. That is the deep dive. I've been Chris Pajak. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a Legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos. Yes, redmenplus.com, Legend tier status.